What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another anime review. Today we're taking a look at Blade Runner, Black Lotus, which is an anime, in a fashion, which you can watch on Adult Swim or also Crunchyroll if you are a fan of that service and you do pay for that service. I would much rather use Adult Swim because that shit is free and just comes on the TV, so, you know. Anyway, the anime is 13 episodes, roughly around 20 minutes each, so you can finish it in like 4 hours roughly if you can watch it all in one day, if you can stomach to watch it all in one day, because not a lot of people can. So other than that, without any further delay, I think we should probably get into what Google has to say. So Blade Runner Black Lotus is a 2024 anime, and it is a action anime, which is a 6.3 out of 10 IMDb, a 4.2 out of 5 on Crunchyroll, and 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is very fucking generous. You can watch this on E4 or all 4. You can watch this on Crunchyroll and Amazon Prime. A young woman with amnesia must hunt down the people responsible for her brutal and bloody past to find the truth of her lost identity. So how the story starts is she wakes up in a desert and she walks through this city and she finds someone who can basically, you know, work out what's on this camcorder which she has with her. Turns out she was part of a hunting group that hunted robots. Guess what? That's not the actual case. She was one of the robots being hunted. And that is revealed to us after she goes after all these sort of higher-ups who are part of the hunting group. And when they did do that, they, got in a lot of trouble. And she killed them all. She then realized she herself was a robot, and then finished the job of killing everybody in the higher-ups, including the guy who made the robots. And then she goes off on her own, and that's pretty much where the anime ends. I'm gonna be honest, it was not exciting in the slightest. They did very little to try and build up suspense. It was very repetitive. Find new guy, go hunt him down, interrogate them, be led somewhere else to a new guy, hunt them down, fight them. And the animation style was completely off to me. It was this really weird sort of 3D sort of animation style which looked janky. It looked like a really old sort of Xbox sort of CGI sort of graphics for a video game. It just was not it. It was pretty lackluster and pretty ugly. I did not enjoy watching it. It wasn't like the beautiful colors that we see in the Blade Runner TV shows and movies. The voice acting was also really shit. The lips didn't match the voices, and the acting of the voice actors just fell off as well. It just didn't feel right, and the way they were talking just felt off. Like where they were, what it felt like was where they were recording had like some echo or some interference. Like it didn't feel like they were recording in a proper booth, and it sort of sounded a little bit shaky, a little bit echoey, and there wasn't really much emotion or passion in their voices to sort of convey these characters. It felt very bare bones, very basic, and not really having much to it. The story was also predictable. Like, you know, you could tell she was a synth, or like a sort of not human, as they all called them, and a robot girl, just from how she was acting, how she was talking, how the other characters were acting around her. So the big mystery and the big plot twist was just given away from the get-go, and it didn't really have that much of effect on the main character. Like, you normally expect them to have a breakdown, go mental, go crazy, go stupid. No, none of that shit happened. It just was like, oh, you lied to me. That's not very nice. And then she continued about her day hunting down everyone that hunted down the robots. Like, her mission didn't change. Her opinions didn't change. She didn't want to be a robot because she was a different type of robot. She had emotions and feelings, and she had evolved. And that storyline has been done into the ground. That is a very common storyline. A storyline which we see quite a lot nowadays with most sort of media. Because, again, it is a future that we could very much well be living in, given the, state of the world and the state of CGI, the state of AI, the state of sort of robots and stuff like that. You know, it's a very real thing that we could be sort of seeing and expecting, and it is a big push in horror direction. Like, all the horror movies recently, like Megan, or the other one with Megan Fox, have all been about AI and robots taking over, and it being robots being the thing that kills us. And I'm going to be honest, I just don't find that fun. I don't find that exciting. I think that's a very cheap sort of horror movie thing, and it is just the way the world we live in, so it just doesn't feel scary. And it's always really over the top with the robots. It's always the same. They delete their programming, they go rogue, they, you know, develop feelings and emotions, and they kill people. That's it. That's the same story every time. We have AI just deleting its own programming, sort of doing its own thing, and it's boring, it's repetitive. I don't like watching the same shit over and over and over again. Fair enough, it's in different situations and different scenarios. Like, we had one with a kid, we had one with an adult, we had one in the future, we had one in the past, but it's still boring because it's the same thing over and over and over again. I do feel like this, like, anime was a little cheap compared to a couple of the others because, again, of the lacking of the animation quality, the lacking of the voice acting quality, and just lackluster story as well. It did not capture me, it did not hook me in, it didn't get me excited. The sort of whole mystery behind the character is something that we have seen so many times before, and it isn't done in a new and creative way. It still follows the old patterns, and it still follows the basic sort of footnotes that this story has. So it doesn't stand out compared to the other stories, and leads to it being very forgettable and very underwhelming when you actually, you know, find out, which you don't actually find out, you know, it just, you already fucking knew from the get-go. And it isn't an anime that I recommend you'd watch. I feel like there is much better animes to watch if, you know, if you look good enough. If you can actually get past the sort of ugliness of it. It still isn't good. Like, there is way better animes out there, and much better animes which I would have rather watched. I'm never going to watch this again, and I don't recommend you waste your time watching it. I don't know how Crunchyroll and the Amazon and IGB actually rated this so highly, because it just isn't. It doesn't hit like the other Blade Runner stuff does. I've seen the Blade Runner movies, and that's what drew me into this anime. The already established IP that they had, the already established world, the already established sort of good movies, which I did enjoy, but this just didn't feel the same. It didn't capture the same. She did have the stupid little, like, plaster on her nose, which did reference Ryan Gosling's character in Blade Runner, and it was fucking stupid. Like, I saw so many sort of references to the other Blade Runner movies, but that doesn't make this one any good. This one just makes it feel like a cheap cop-out to make money. Seeing that many references crammed in just feels like it's trying to make money and do nothing else. It doesn't feel like it's trying to make a very creative sort of story. It doesn't feel like it's trying to make a very good, compelling, sort of interesting character arc for any of these. It just feels very, very low budget and very low quality. I don't really have much else to say, so I'm just gonna end off the review here and give it a pretty low score of a 3 out of 10. I wouldn't watch it. Am I glad I watched it? No, I feel like I did waste my time doing so. And if you do want me to review any other movies, TV shows, animes, please do leave them down in the comments below. And if I like your comment, I'll get on it as quickly as possible. I do have a backlog of 3 months worth of videos, so it might be a little bit later that I get around to reviewing your sort of recommendation, but don't worry, it will be done at some point. I do have a full playlist of anime reviews. I have another playlist for film reviews. I have another playlist for show reviews, where you can go take a look at other stuff that I have reviewed and talked about if you did enjoy this video and you do want to watch more, because that shows YouTube that my content is worth watching. And whilst you're here on YouTube, why don't you stick around, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I can guarantee you that it is completely free, and you can always change your mind later if you do decide you don't actually like me or my content. I cry myself to sleep at night because 98% of you are not subscribed. So if you want to change that number, make it a little bit better on my half, let me get a better night's sleep. And if you want me to, you know, increase my subscriber count and you want to join the price tags, again, completely free, just hit the big red button. However, I will not be taking any responsibility for any exploded devices that you have because of subscribing, because the subscribe button is a big red button. Stereotypically, big red buttons make shit explode. So, you know, if your tablet, TV, laptop, phone does explode because of watching this video and pressing subscribe, I'm not taking responsibility for that. It is entirely your choice. As well, I do upload 5 videos a day to keep you well fed with content. So if you are looking for a little bit more Tyler Price in your life, subscribing is the best way to go about it. Subscribing is the best way to get my videos in your inbox, rather than just hoping that the YouTube algorithm delivers you another one of my videos, because that is not guaranteed to show up. This could be the one and only video you ever see of mine, because it was kind enough to give you this video on your sort of homepage, and you can never see me again. So if you do want to see my stuff again, hit that subscribe button, and then you have a surefire way of finding me once more. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. Hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe.